So here we've got the wife of Kelsey's brother supporting poor little Taylor, who destroyed the Jew Empire at Super Bowl. And here is all of the fun stuff. We've got the Pfizer poster boy's brother's wife supporting poor little Taylor, who's single-handedly destroyed the one world Jewish government and the Jew God.
Taylor Swift's defense after the Karma singer attended the Super Bowl February 9th to support boyfriend Travis Kelce and was booed by the crowd at Caesars Superdome. Kylie shares an understated response. The Not Gonna Lie podcast host liked a February 13th Sports Illustrated Instagram post explaining Erin Andrews' perspective on the whole ordeal. The sportscaster had slammed the Super Bowl crowd on a February 11th episode of the Calm Down with Erin and Carissa podcast, where she said, quote, "I feel bad for the most famous, amazing woman in the world who gets booed at the Super Bowl." But Kylie, Erin, and Carissa aren't the only ones upset that Taylor...
Have a look at that woman's eyes. Shock horror. The ultimate ritual to bring in the one world Jewish government and the Jew God and caramelize all the Jew God's enemies, reversed. Look at the eyes, look at the shock. Eyes are windows to the soul. That's the windows to Taylor's damnation.
Where the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22. Even Eagles running back Saquon Barkley said during his February 12th appearance on the Howard Stern show that he thought the gesture went a little too far.
They showed her on the Jumbotron and she got booed. I don't get it. I don't get why she was getting hate there.
I didn't like that either.
Yeah, she was just there supporting her, so let's get out there.
Sochivanov number 2, not only destroying Lilith Taylor Swift, but the Jews, the Jew God, everything Jewish, the one world Jewish government, and everything they wanted to install in the Jew God and the Rothschilds and their witches, slaves, reversed and given to Kalki. Thank you very much, CIA. I think Trump needs to give the CIA Medal of Honor to Taylor for single-handedly destroying the CIA and the one world Jewish government and saving his own life.
You know, we're all about how can we expand the game and make it more internationally, and we're traveling to Brazil and traveling to Mexico, and her being a part of it's only helping her. So I don't get the slack that she's getting.
As for Taylor, she's used to shaking it off. She took the negative moment in stride, laughing off the angry crowd with pal Ice Spice. And last year, the Fortnite singer spoke out.
There we go. So, there, of course, we've got the two that should get married. The sooner they get married, the better. Look at that. He's a poster boy.
Travis Kelce reunites with Taylor Swift after the Kansas City Chiefs take the L against the Philadelphia Eagles at Super Bowl 59.
You know, I'm a football player.
So, we can see now that Taylor deserves the ultimate loser that destroyed not only the one world Jewish government, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Jew God, everything Jewish, the CIA, and, but gave Kalki all the power and complete dominion over everything, plus his horse and his flaming sword. Thank you very much. So one can guarantee now that this Pfizer gold-digging piece of excrement will have a happy ever after with Taylor. Except, of course, Taylor's been belfied and we've got Becky. And I don't think Becky's madly keen on the Pfizer poster boy. So don't hold your breath for marriage announcements, because there's a new owner in the body and she ain't into Pfizer poster boys. And of course, it doesn't matter if they've got a Diddy take on Taylor because Becky didn't do it. And of course, intent always protects the righteous from the unrighteous. And as we see now, the unrighteous are getting their karma. So here we've got witches. We've been talking about witches and how witches are vital for this ultimate ritual that was going to get rid of Amalek and bring in the one world Jewish government and the green lines around the world and the Jew God's creation not being taken down and all of the righteous suffering for the unrighteous. So I have to explain what's so important about witches. So we can see now why we had two witches, because we're going down the double pathway, and why witches are so important, because remember the source initially sent down its scout Lilith, who then broke up into, well, this is all source, but broke up into Lilith and Namar, and then we had the Egret and the other one. And of course we have Ice Spice and Taylor as embodying Lilith and Namar, with the little talentless negress trying to lasso Saturn, which is all of the male magic, and Taylor lassoing Hecate, which is magic. But remember, I told you that the males, after the initial source, are all made from females, and you just switch them around. Art of Dreaming, you'll see the tenant can turn into a female, and females can turn into males simply by inverting their energy bodies. So witches are important because they are aspects of the fractalized Lilith that contains the source. So the only way to make the Jew God's information, which is matrix real, is to put sources into it, and therefore they have to tap into Lilith, and the more they tap into Lilith, the more she loses her light. And witches, of course, are shards of this Lilith scout from the source, and they therefore only witches can make magicians reality real. And of course they're kissing the anus of Satan, who of course is the chaosized, Adonide, Jew God did Lucifer, so they can also then milk Lucifer of energy and give it to Satan. So witches are the only means of sucking the light from the Lilith scout that the source sent in to look at chaos, and of course it then became changed, chaosized, lost its sourceness by observing chaos. So witches are a must-have to make any magic or make any matrix real. Hence, of course, we had the two of them at the Super Bowl with the pre-programmed karma video, and we had the Lavender Haze where Taylor's got control over the fishes of the sea, the demons. And of course, that magic stuff that comes out of Becky, and in the anti-hero video, and she uses against the three riders of the apocalypse in the Karma video, and the stuff in the Lavender Haze video is this Lilith light magic that makes Matrix real. So we can explain at this juncture. The fifth dimension really can be seen as a three space of consciousness, that pearl from the Karma video, and the Matrix, which according to Van Hooft, the physicist, is two-dimensional. And of course Ice Spice and Taylor would be the two dimensions of the Matrix. The three space and the two space of the Matrix, giving you your five dimensions. So five dimensionality can be thought of in a different way. And of course gravity in the fifth dimension is light. So with witches, they're the only means of getting light to make Matrix real. Why, you say? Well, remember what I told you, that the males are simply made from the females, and the only male with real sourceness is the prime male, who hates Lilith because she turned chaotic, which is yours truly. And of course, unless he gives his sourceness to Lilith, which he'll never do. In fact, he bellfired her and got rid of her, so she never existed. Therefore, the light that energized Lucifer and was used to make everything real from the cannibalization of Lilith had to come from somewhere. It was new source, which of course came from this CIA imbecile who tried to steal the source, me, and instead of which agreed to the contract that the Jews, everything Jewish, the Jew gods, the CIA, etc., would suffer to the source level to provide new source light to make Lucifer and allow the source to observe chaos. So Lilith never existed, she got bale-fired, and it was always the Jews and their creations and the Jew God that suffered eternally. Hence a Kabbalah saying every Jewish creation, its creatures are all omega helized, all helized totally by Amalek, which of course is Lucifer, that feeds off the Jew God, its creatures in creation, and then tortures them eternally, and in the process gains the light. All of this completed at Super Bowl, was it 47 I think, or 57, who cares, with Ice Spice and Taylor Swift. All because this idiot from the CIA thought he could steal me, and what he stole was all of the IOUs that I dumped upon him. So thanks to the CIA completed the source's work. So the Lilith Scout never gave away her light to observe chaos. Chaos did, and the chaos god, its creatures and creations, and of course all the things that the Jew God has been used as vehicles, the agents, which of course is the Jewish race, the chosen ones, have always suffered eternally and become the torture toys of Amalek in every single universe, and this is the final solution where they now suffer to source level, and it's all done. They've got their karma. Thank you very much. So we've had the Good Shepherd ritual done, where the Good Shepherd, of course, is Schwartzy Boy and the CIA, who suffer eternally so the vampires can have all the good things in life. Thank you very much, Schwartzy Boy and the CIA. So, in order to seal this ritual, where the source never lost its sourceness and all new sourceness came from the eternal torture of the Jew God, its creatures and creation, we have to have the ritual sealed with death. That's the only way to make 100%. And of course this happened with the death of William Rothschild, burnt alive by Lucifer, to seal the deal and make sure that Lucifer got all the light from the Jews, and of course is Amalek, the total Amalek now, thanks to William Rothschild, and of course the CIA and Jeremiah Schwartzy Boy and his ilk, because they're all self-similar. So with the death of William Rothschild, all the Rothschilds and all the Jews died, and of course, thankfully, Schwartzy Boy is Jewish, and he's totally self-similar to William Rothschild, because of course the Rothschilds are accusing William Rothschild of being a Jeremiah Schwartz. They say he Jeremiah Schwartz them. They say he wasn't actually a Rothschild. He had this massive car collection worth fortunes, you know, Ferrari collections and Jaguar collections, and giving to exclusive car museum. He's just a simple little Jew boy. We know, you know, all the Jews are stinking rich. Mega multi-millionaires, of course. But let's say he wasn't. Let's take the Rothschilds' point of view. And this was actually William Kaufman. Then, of course, he was being Jeremiah Schwartzing the Rothschilds since the early 80s. And we, of course, know the Rothschilds would put up with someone saying they were a Rothschild, would they not? They don't run all the intelligence agencies and death squads and fund all the targeted assassinations and targeted individuals around the world. They haven't stolen 100 trillion from the human race, but let's say they have. Let's say, in fact, he was William Kaufman and not a Rothschild. Then, of course, he's Rothschilded the Rothschilds in the Jeremiah Schwartz way. He's simply stolen their identity and said he was a Rothschild. Like, of course, Jeremiah Schwartzy Boy said he was the king vampire and the most powerful being on the planet, and used all my stuff for his videos made by the CIA to steal me. So one can see now that the death of William Rothschild killed off all of the Jeremiah Schwartzes who were trying to steal me. So this was the sacrifice that ended the Rothschilds, the Jew God, and everything Jewish. Because in the Rothschild reality, is it only William Kaufman, and he's got a $1 million house and this massively expensive Ferrari and Jaguar collection, but he's been stealing our identity since the early 80s. He's really William Kaufman. Oh, then he's a Jeremiah Schwartz. So the ritual works perfectly. But in fact, the truth is he actually was a Rothschild killed by Lucifer, but it doesn't matter because this was the sacrifice, the wicker manning, where the Good Shepherd suffers for the sins vampires who get all the good things in life. And this was the 100%ing of karma, where the unrighteous got their karma. Thank you very much, Jeremiah Schwartzy boy, and this identity thief, or the actual William Rothschild and the entire William Rothschild family, which then, of course, pulls in the Emperor of the West, Jacob Rothschild, the lowest form of filth, who, retroactively, we changed the timeline, where he was slaughtered by the William Rothschild ritual, and Jacob Rothschild was killed, disembodied, kicked the bucket, became life dysfunctioned by Lucifer, and was another wicker man, suffering in the same way as all the other wicker men, the good shepherds, so the vampires can have all the good things in life. And by their work shall ye know them. So as the one world Jewish government come into being, have the Rothschilds conquered the world? Or have they simply had the excrement kicked out of them in a lowly country like the Ukraine? And aren't the Americans begging the Russians to stop kicking the excrement out of their little Jewish state of the Ukraine? It's happening as we speak. They're begging the Russians, please, please stop kicking the excrement out of our Jewish state of the Ukraine, because we need this for the one world Jewish government. Please, Russians, please give up. Please stop. So as you can see, Jacob Rothschild was slaughtered by Lucifer and incorporated in this ritual, the karma ritual. And of course, here's the Empress of the West, Serena Rothschild, who used to run the Tory party and had Cameron as her pet poodle, slaughtered by this ritual back in 2019. So as you can see, what we talked about, where five-dimensional beings control all and everything else is simply matrix made real by five-dimensional beings. So the war was over when the Elohim, the Jew God, was omega-helized, had all of its realness taken away by, of course, the ritual that finished it off, which was the Super Bowl and the bell firing of Taylor Swift and the karma ritual being given by the CIA on a plate to yours truly. So Serena Rothschild slaughtered. So we've got rid of the head of the snake, Jacob Rothschild, the emperor, and Serena Rothschild, the empress. So Kozyrev time density explains that all cause and effect comes from time density. And that he who controls time density controls everything that happens in reality. So we've got a form of energy continually flowing into existence and universally being shared by all objects and processes. Cause, loss of time density, effect, gain of it. Anti-clockwise rotation, cause, clockwise rotation, effect. So what was the start of the karma video? Well, we got that stuff swirling around time density in a clockwise direction to collect time density for effect. So the entire karma video is an effect video. It's not cause, it's to effect, to manifest from time density. It's a weapon system of time density to control the planet, to bring in the one world Jewish government. Thankfully, it's all come to me. It's given Kalki his horse and his sword, and now it's torture time. It's Kalki time. So mountains of bodies, as in the Taylor Swift video, but with none of them surviving. Now the problem is, for the righteous, the good shepherds, you can be a righteous person all your life and never give away your free will. But the sting in the tail from the five-dimensional being's perspective is, not from a normal person, but from a five-dimensional perspective. If I cause you life dysfunction, kill you, make you kick the bucket, turn you into a dead parrot, do you in, then I'm the cause of your entire life, because you lose time density at death to affect your conception in your entire life. So I control your life simply by being the cause of your death. That's why the Rothschilds, the Jew god demons, etc., are the cause of so much death and destruction. World War I, World War II, Boer War, numerous wars since the Second World War. I'm living in a country ravaged by the Rothschilds' war in the 60s and 70s, Vietnam. And even if you don't give up your free will and eat and murder babies and pledge your allegiance to the Rothschilds and the Jew God, if they kill you, then they've captured your light and can use it. Only if you're a five-dimensional being, of course, but remember, the Rothschilds were inhabited by the Elohim parasites, who were five-dimensional parasites. Of course, Kalki, yours truly, the Sidle, is a five-dimensional being, so he can do likewise. The only... So, every single righteous person can be righteous, then stick them in a wicker cage, or be the cause of their demise, and all of their lovely light, Higgs field, their free will, the stuff that makes Matrix real, comes to the Elohim parasite. So there's no chance for the righteous to escape being good shepherds, because they'll simply be slaughtered. And if the Elohim and their avatars, the Rothschilds, and their servants, CIA, MI6, etc., and all of the other filth were the cause of the righteous person's demise, then of course your light, your free will, goes to them, and you're the good shepherd, so the Jews can have all the good things in life, and the Jew God, the architect, can have its universe. There's only one race of beings in the entire megaverse that are immune to this parasite, this, well, taking by force, this good shepherding of the righteous. These are the only people immune, the Muslim jihadis, the ones that go around killing infidels. Sunni Islamic movement. And once 100 of the jihadis have killed infidels, 100 of them, it becomes 100th monkey effect. So all Sunni Muslims have the protection from being taken by the Elohim, killed, and their light stolen by the Jew God and its avatars. So who has been the number one enemy of the West, cameraman? Well, obviously the jihadis. They had their war on terror. It wasn't a war on terror, it was a spiritual war. And the only reason that the Russians didn't fall to the spiritual warfare against them was that they got the Chechens, who are this lot, on their side. And you can't steal the light from jihadi Muslims, because the cause of death of the jihadi Muslim has been set by at least 100 jihadi Muslims killing infidels and dying in the process, suicide bombers, in that they've made their cause of death Allah, the source, and therefore all true Muslims, we're not talking about the filth of the Shia Iranian satanic cult, or the Alawites, the scum Shia Satanists from Syria. We're talking about Muslims. We're the only true righteous, in that all of us have access, thanks to the 100th monkey effect, to making the cause of our death Allah, the source, and therefore our entire lives from conception to death our source. So this is the reason why MI6 and the CIA haven't assassinated me, because they well know assassinating me won't steal my light, because I'm a jihadi, according to MI5, Muslim, and they've been telling the world that Tim Rifat is a jihadi Muslim, which seems rather silly, sending disposable, mainly Navalny supporting Russians to the Trang to try and beat me to a pulp, because all that happened is I'll go jihadi on them and slaughter them like dogs. But you can see now why Kalki had to be a Muslim, because only the Muslims are immune to getting killed and their light stolen by being killed, and therefore the Jew God and its unrighteous filth can steal your time density, because Islam is the only religion where the only sure way of going to heaven is to die killing infidels, to dedicate your entire life and your cause of death to the source, Allah.